Hello everyone, Hawky here, back with another Sword of Convallaria video. So, Rico is confirmed as the next unit, and she's pretty fun. I'm not sure if you guys played her in the Spiral Destinies. She's pretty cute, pretty funny, and just interesting to play with. She's our favorite dragon lolly, right? And then, yeah, amazing, like, knockback skills. Just swing them all around, push them back, Dragon's Roar, and just literally just jumps through and smashes things. Let's have a look at her skills. So I'm on Alex Belandi's account. Thank him so much for letting me borrow his Rico. So let's have a look at these skills. Gains block and jump. Defender with jump is quite rare. Immune to frosty tile effects, even though she doesn't create any frosty tiles. Maybe, was it Ivan the Great? Emperor Ivan or Ivan the Terrible? Maybe they can create a bunch of icy terrain and Rico gets some use. But yeah, maybe. Doubt it. Physical attack and HP increased by 5%. After being actively attacked, if in injured state, recovers HP equal to 30% of physical attack, can be triggered up to 1 time per round. So injured is below 70%. Pretty straightforward. Fur Rage state. Gain 2 stacks when attacked. And Fur Rage increases crit rate by 3% and crit damage by 3%, up to 8 stacks. So that's pretty solid. 24% crit rate, crit damage, and 1 stack at the end of the turn. When having 8 stacks, gains the additional skill, Awoo, Dragon Roar. The instant skill jumps to the target location, 110% AoE damage to all enemies within 2 tiles of target. Skill multiplier decreases by 10% for each additional target hit to a minimum of 80%. Inflicts vulnerable 2, and if target is dying, additionally inflicts stunned. It does remove all the Fur Rage, so we do lose the crit and crit rate from Fur Rage, but it's okay. We gain damage reduction 2 and Be Serious for 2 turns. So Be Serious, look at this. Crit rate by 100%, crit damage by 30% for next attack. So, pretty solid. So let's see the Awoo Dragon Roar skill in action. So we literally have the 8 stacks of Fur Rage, so the skill is available to us. And then literally we just jump in and do some nice AoE. Vulnerable 2. And then we get the Be Serious buff, right? Nice. Be Serious, and then removed after triggering, and then gets the quiet mode. So you can only be serious for 1 attack. Let's just use our Hammer Smash. And then it goes to our turn again. And then all our buffs are gone, right? And we have to wait for the quiet mode to end. So a bit of a damage cooldown here. Alright, so 2 stars, what do we gain? So the only thing we gain at 2 stars is we get 2 stacks of Fur Rage at the start of battle. So that's the only difference between 1 star and 2 star. We just get the 2 stacks of Fur Rage at the start of battle. So easier to hit the 8 stacks for Awoo Dragon Roar. On 3 stars, our physical attack and HP increases to 10%. So from 5% to 10% here. And then after being actively attacked, if injured, recovers HP equal to 30%. This is triggered from 1 time to 2 times here at 3 star. And we gain 4 stacks of Fur Rage at the start of battle. That means if we're just relying on this skill, it's much faster to get the Awoo Dragon Roar. The other thing you get is when quiet mode ends, you get 2 stacks of Fur Rage, so easier to go back into the combo. Now 4 star, the change is we restore HP equal to 50% of physical attack here. And now we also change to, I remember before we were only getting 1 stack of Fur Rage at the end of the turn. On 4-star, it changes to 2 stacks at the end of the turn. And then for 5-star, we do have physical attack and HP increased to 50% here. 6 stacks at the start of battle. And 2 stacks when attacked, 2 stacks at the end of the turn. The other thing that changes is after quiet mode ends, gain 4 stacks of Fur Rage. And then Awoo Dragon Roar also has 100% increased crit and 20% increased skill multiplier when attacking. So pretty nice. Hits this to like, what, 130%? But it does reduce per target hit. So Rico's basic skill is Knockback Bash, single target attack, 140% damage, and knocks back the target by 2 tiles. Fairly straightforward, 3 costs, pretty expensive there. And rank 1, we have Charge Pursuit. Instant charges at one enemy within cross-shaped range around the character, dealing 30% damage, immunity to preempt. So it's alright. Maybe you get it for the HP node. The other one is Warrior of Frost. When the character is on frosty tiles, decreases the damage taken by 30% and increases movement by 1. This could come in handy, but Rico doesn't create any frosty tiles, so it depends on who you bring on your team. So rank 1, it's kind of iffy because you wouldn't really be using either skill. Probably consider the HP node just for the extra HP on Rico. So rank 3, Hammer Smash. Attacks the specified target, dealing 40% AoE damage, knocking them back by 4 tiles. With the skill multiplier increased by 70%, 110% total here, against targets with knockback immunity. And then we have the extra pursuit damage. The 75% AoE damage to all enemies in a cross-shaped range of 2 tiles of the target and dispels 2 buffs. When having Be Serious, remember the having the crit multiplier, all skill multipliers of this skill increase by 10% and inflict stun for 1 turn after performing Pursue. So yeah, a nice combo skill after doing the Awoo Dragon Roar, because Be Serious only lasts for the next attack, right? So you have to combo Hammer Smash. And if you're doing against a boss that's immune to knockback, this will be, what, 110? And you have Be Serious, 120. 120 plus the 75, 195. And you also get the 10% here. So this is like a 205%. So fairly decent. It is a 2-turn cooldown, 3 cost, and you do need that Be Serious buff to do that extra damage. And then we have Milk Power Boost. He just drinks milk all the time, right? Instant restores HP equal to 80% of physical attack. Gains 2 stacks of damage lock. Damage lock is quite interesting. Equal to 45% of max HP. The damage taken from a single attack, it's basically capped at that certain percentage of max HP. After triggering, removes 1 stack. So it's a bit like an extra layer of shield there. Physical defense 2, magic defense 2, and 2 stacks of Fur Rage. Alright, let's do the Awoo Dragon Roar again. I just like seeing this skill animation. By breathing, and smash. Okay, nice, nice. And then we have our Be Serious buff, and this is where we do a bunch of damage with the Hammer Smash, knocking back by 4 tiles and hits everything in a cross-shaped range around them. So if I hit that, it should hit these 2 as well, right? So let's show off these skills. Wait a sec. I'll hit this one, right? And yeah, they get stunned, knocked back as well. And you get these funny animations with these bigger bosses as well, with the Hammer Smash. And they're just flying around. So yeah, for rank 3, we're definitely choosing the left side Hammer Smash there. Alright, so for rank 5, we have First Strike. Before being actively attacked from the front or side, forms Preempt, dealing 70% damage. can be activated 1 time per round. This is only from single target attacks. And then right side, we have never give up. Never give you up. It's getting Rick rolled, right? Rico rolled, right? Reduce melee damage taken by 15%. Gains unyielding. So that's the revive. When defeated, can return to battle, recover 35% HP, activated 1 time. When triggered, covers all energy, removes quiet mode, and gains 8 stacks of Fur Rage, gains speed 4 for 1 turn. So this is like the protagonist, the plot armor, right? So she just like gets all energy, she can do her combo and everything again, and max Fur Rage, so she could do Awoo Dragon's Roar. So pretty solid. So this is the skill we're gonna get because yeah, just really, really solid for Rico. Actually, I should show this skill. I mean, not much to show, right? Unyielding, Fur Rage. We can't do our trait skill. And then we just die. And then we get speed up. And then we get full rage bar, essentially. Yeah, full Fur Rage. And can get the speed 4 there. Okay, rank 7, we have Hammer Time. Can do Mountain Topping Slap. 70% AoE damage to all enemies in a 3x4 AoE in the target direction. Physical defense 2 down. Healing block for 2 turns. Knocks back first enemy in each column by 1 tile. Skill multiplier increases by 20% against targets with knockback immunity. So 90% AoE, nice. And when having Be Serious, skill multiplier increases by 15%. Like everything wants to have the Be Serious multiplier there, but it only works for 1 attack. I think that's the main issue of Rico. Deals Earth-Shattering Tornado. Deals 65% AoE damage to all enemies within 3 tiles. Physical defense 2 down and block healing for 2 turns. Knocks back first enemy within cross-shaped range of 2 tiles of 2 tiles by 2 tiles. When having Be Serious, knocks back 1 additional tile, inflicts move 1 down for 2 turns after the attack. We need to see this. So we'll go through like the standard knockback. We just go here and Mountain Topping Slap. And see these first 2 in each column. The first one in each column gets knocked back there. And then we can go through with the Earth-Shattering Tornado. So we do a nice spin. And then they get knocked back there. The other thing is, we do want to get the Be Serious, right? So now we got 8. So we jump in, do the Awoo Dragon Roar. Whack down. And then we can do this knockback, Mountain Topping Slap. I mean, this is just increased damage. We should do the spin, right? Because it's a knockback additional 1 tile. We're going to do a nice spin here. Yeah, nice. Alright, and for rank 7, right side, we have Try to Make Me Mad. Gain 2 stacks of Fur Rage, attack 2, and crit damage 1 for 2 turns. Forms Raw Fury until the start of the next 2 turns. Buff, 100% chance to trigger block when receiving enemy physical attack from front or side. When blocking, damage taken is reduced by 20%. After being actively attacked by enemy within 2 tiles, perform Strike Back, dealing 70% AoE physical damage to all enemies within a 1 tile radius of the target, triggered up to 2 times per round. During Raw Fury, gains 1 additional stack of Fur Rage after being attacked. I think it's pretty fun as well. Like, there's 2 ways to play Rico. You can play her as like a direct damage sort of setup, but you can also play her with like a preempt counterattack setup with like First Strike and Try to Make Me Mad. Okay, for rank 9, we have No Escape. 70% AoE physical damage to all enemies within a 1 tile radius of the target, so like 3x3 here. and then knocks back the center target by additional 2 tiles. So it's just all about knockback, and then critical strike, 100% physical damage, increases crit by 15% before attacking. So pretty much getting the no escape skill, like nice solid knockback. And then rank 11, we have Crackling Spark. Gain 2 stacks of Fur Rage after casting a class skill attack. The class skill is any of these 3 skills. So this is the class skills, like the skills that you equip. I don't know how to what to say it. They call it class skills, so that's the 3 skills there. When dealing collision damage, deals AoE physical damage equal to 25% of physical attack to all enemies within a 1-tile radius of both parties involved in a collision. Attack increases by 15% against targets with knockback immunity. Ooh, it's an attack that increases. Nice. Before attacking, inflicts physical damage, physical defense 2 and magic defense 2 down for 2 turns. So pretty solid passive. Like we do have like getting the extra Fur Rage, and just stacks up our Dragon Roar, right? And the crit stacks. And this is the leader aura. World's my oyster. For all Drifter allies in battle, attack increases by 10% and defense increases by 20%. When performing active attacks and strike back, damage dealt increases by 5% for each 1 target hit, up to 15%. If target is in injured state, crit and crit damage increase by 10%. I mean, I think that's fairly decent for Drifter. Like, the current Drifter aura is kind of underwhelming with Miguel, right? And there's some solid units in the Drifter faction which could use the extra aura buff, right? But that's definitely something to consider, but if you're just playing with, like, Rico, you definitely want to use the Crackling Sparks. Like, I feel like Rico's skills are the most sort of flexible. You kind of want a lot of different skills for her. Like, honestly, I feel like she will definitely, like, most of the time be using the Drifter aura. She'll definitely be using Crackling Spark. And that only leaves, like, you either use Hammer Time for, you know, some AoE, or you use Hammer Smash for, like, single target. Because, like, you can only have really one skill take advantage of the Be Serious buff, right? Because that just is only for 1 attack. And then, yeah, never give up. And you're probably running the Crit Strike for single target, technically, but I feel like you just go no escape and then run the basic attack, right? Just use our... you use this basic attack. If you have, like... And don't bother wasting a Castalia for critical strike. And then if you're going to run some sort of counter-attack build and, like, preempt, you want to do, like, first strike, try to make me mad, and, like, milk power boost sort of thing. Something like that. And, yeah, because we also have to consider Rico's weapon, right? So Rico's weapon, let me get to that. Where is Rico's weapon? Yeah, Hammer, Dragon Rise. When casting AoE attack and triggering strike back or preempt, physical damage dealt increases by 10% for each target hit, up to 30%. Strike back and preempt is +1. But you need to have strike back and preempt on your kit, and generates 15% lifesteal. This is, like, very specific for her, like, for her counterattack build, honestly. For her DPS, not really. Like, if you have a higher star Rico, Ian did test, like, the Gal Sword is going to be better for Rico if your Rico is at, like, 5 stars. Otherwise, yeah, the Hammer Dragon Rise is better. But that's just, like, min-max DPS, right? Do you really need it? I feel like she is just really there for just doing, like, a lot of knockback and everything on her kit. And would definitely be running the the sword and the wand for Rico. Definitely putting through the sword and wand resonance here, increasing the attack and defense. And if you don't have either, you're probably just going to use like B-stacks, right? Or you can run like Tuning Hammer to dispel a bunch of buffs and everything. For the trinket, as usual, it will be the Shield of Justice. Does Alex not have Shield of Justice? Rip. Yeah. Shield of Justice, or just stuff that raises the attack and defense, like Hourglass. I mean, raising the attack, right? I mean, potentially could look at Cloak. And if you're running like Counterattack build, you can use the Crystal Burst armor. And like she does so much AoE, so honestly, you're looking at Magician, because you don't really want to get Justice because she already overcaps on the crit. Like when she's doing her big skill, which is like, you're using the big skill after you do that Awoo Dragon Roar, and you already got the Cirrus buff, which gives her the 100% crit rate already. So like crit modifiers are kind of diluted on Rico. So it's just best to just use like AoE and damage there. And you can also consider using like Tower if you're playing the counterattack build. Probably with, I don't know, maybe with the lifesteal and like the Devil Turret as well. Yeah, that's Rico. And to me, she is a bit like an AoE version of Team Meteor. She's just for fun, and her DPS is really handicapped because she just talks too loud, and then she's just stuck with the quiet mode. And her damage is just like reduced, yeah? And she can only really do like the huge skills after the Awoo Dragon Roar. And need to gain back the layers and everything. I think she can be pretty fun to play, and just like throw her out there, get hit, play the counterattack build. Or you can just play like the DPS build with like a bunch of knockbacks. Yeah. Good luck to everyone who is looking at pulling Rico. I think I'm going to still pull Rico because I'm a collector, right? I'm collecting everyone. Like Taiwan did use Rico in Towerversity. Like I did look at like what sort of gear and everything they had on their Rico. So this is a 4-star Rico, still 10%, 42282, yeah? Using the Astral Imprint, Crystal Burst, and Justice. Interesting. Yeah, she's just here to just AoE, knock back everyone. Like, she's just there for knockback, right? AoE knockback. The spin, knockback, spin, knockback. And then Livata, I remember, was just creating the fire tiles. Yeah, spin, knockback. This is a more... Technically, this is a more free-to-play comp, right? Because you're not chasing damage. You're just pushing through the knockbacks. And then, yeah. Creating the fire tiles, like... Anyone can create the fire tiles, so you don't need to have Livata there. But yeah, we'll get this Towerversity soon, so we might see Rico play a role, especially with all these like knockbacks. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so that's Rico. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.